What is up, friends and followers? Today we've got the XBotGo. Our friends over at XBotGo reached out to us with one of their newer products here. This could revolutionize sports recording. It's an AI-powered cameraman. Essentially, ignore the paint on my hand. It's been a busy weekend. But essentially this device here will follow the games for you, allow you to focus on the games yourself and not have to worry about videotaping the game moving around. This will follow the game's action for several sports. If you're a parent who has kids in sports, a coach, content creators that record live sporting events, this could be a game changer for you. Let's go ahead and get to the unboxing. First and foremost, the box itself, extremely durable. Pretty sweet looking too, right? Definitely not a chintzy feeling packaging, at least. Let's open her up. First thing you'll get here is a microfiber carrying case with the drawstrings, USB-C charging cable, user's manual, of course. Looks like a microfiber, some kind of maybe lens cleaner. I haven't opened that one up here. A Bluetooth powered controller. And of course, the main attraction, the device itself. It's got a little power button up here, charging port in the back. Got your AI camera that follows the action and or player of choice around. You've got a device up here which holds your phone. I have an iPhone 16 Pro Plus, or whatever they call it. Mine does fit in here, however, I do have to take the case off, which they recommend either way. But my case does not squeeze between here, so you may have to take your case off, which again, they do recommend as well. All of this lights up when the power is on. We'll show you that in a little bit here. One thing I will mention is this thing is solid. It is not chintzy feeling. It's got the bright green in color. You'll never forget this out at the fields or whatever. This thing is very noticeable. I don't know, I believe this is an option, but they did go ahead and send me their tripod. It may be an add-on, but this thing is freaking huge. I think it goes up to 13 or 14 feet tall. Very, very sturdy, durable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiers, 5 levels of heightness with it. Go ahead and power on the device here so you can check out kind of the cool lighting effects that are on there. All right, it's a little. First thing you'll do when you get this, obviously power it on. You have to download the app in your phone, which I will show you here in a minute as well. One thing I did notice is when I did first fire this thing up, there was a lot of updates to go through. I believe all the updates took me roughly, it was probably 20-30 minutes worth of updates that had to be done. They're constantly rolling out new features, updating the software. There's even player recognition. So if you were, say you were a parent at your kid's football game or volleyball game or whatever, this thing could actually, you could program it to track your player by number, as well as their visual appearance. So if you wanted to not just track the actual whole game itself, but just kind of highlight your own child or a certain player, it has the ability to do that as well and just track their particular play and performance. So first thing you'll do is you'll either attach this to your tripod that you got with it. If you did not get the tripod, I would just set it down somewhere. When you turn the device on, you'll notice this little guy tends to look around real quick. Do a little swivel. There she goes. Fire up the app. It will locate your device. Once it locates your device, it'll have you, do all your updates and all that stuff. So once you fire up your app, you'll notice you're on your home page first, of course. It's going to give you some options as far as, if you scroll down, there'll be tutorials and tips and tricks. You can scroll down, you can live stream on here. It also, so you have the option to record this to not only your, personal device, your, storage, but you also get 20 gigs of free cloud storage to them. There's no subscription necessary to get access to that free 20 gigs of storage on their cloud-based system there. But you'll notice here on the home page, obviously you've got, the very first button is the home button. You've got your gallery where it stores all of your, whether it's pictures or videos or recordings, so on and so forth. You've got the camera option, of course, on the bottom there, edit, and then all your account details. So what we'll do is we'll utilize the camera option next here. Once you open that, it'll kind of ask you which sport you plan on recording. So there's different AI settings for each type of sport as far as that goes. They have soccer, basketball, hockey, handball, the follow me feature, which is what I'm going to use here shortly and show you. Tennis, pickleball, lacrosse, badminton. Apparently that's a big thing in places. Football, volleyball, and they're constantly adding more. But so the next thing we'll do here is go ahead and do the follow me feature. So this feature actually could be very useful for even those who are not, sports, recording sports or, sport-based content creators, stuff like that. Let's say you're just working on, I don't know, you got a blog or a vlog where you're working on vehicles. You can be out in your garage, walking around the car, utilizing this follow me feature. You don't have to have a cameraman or someone out there following you around with a camera. You could, you simply give it kind of the A-OK finger symbol. That's what activates the device to start recording. And then as you move around, it's going to kind of follow you around. And then when you're done doing whatever you got to do as far as that goes, you simply do the A-OK sign again, and it's going to go ahead and end the recording. So all of my kids' sports have ended, unfortunately, volleyball and softball and all that jazz. So we're gonna kind of fly solo dolo here and try this thing out. I'll have to use the follow me feature. If you're doing team sports, there's options when you go to do that allow you to take photos of either the player you want to follow or the team you want to follow or the type of sport itself. And you need to be either behind the camera to activate that or have the remote. I just find it easier since I'm by myself to use the follow me feature. So we'll go do that and try to shoot some hoops. Don't judge. So here we are on this lovely 46-degree Minnesota afternoon in October. You'll notice that I did do the little A-OK symbol to activate the recording here. And we'll go ahead and just see how this thing performs on the follow me feature while I'm pretending to know how to play basketball. You'll see here I try to walk around the camera to see if it'll do follow me around a whole 360. I did notice it did stop once it got kind of to the edge of the course. I don't know if that's a feature where it's kind of reading the actual half court basketball court itself, or if it just doesn't want to do a full 360. So that's one little I don't know if it's a flaw or not, but one thing that could kind of bug somebody. And notice that it does follow me as opposed to the ball itself. I did watch some videos to where, when it's doing more of a team sport or like soccer or whatever, it tends to follow the person with the ball itself as opposed to somebody, just kind of running across screen and whatnot. So I think that's more of a feature where if you were to choose the actual sport, it has more knowledge on what to focus on and what to follow, as opposed to this mode right here. Okay, we're back. So, Burr, first of all, mixing this Florida. But some pros and cons. So I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons on this thing. It's super cool, it's innovative. But we'll start kind of with some of the cons. The whole setup process as far as getting things paired together, linking things, all the updates, which happen, it seems to be almost every other time that you're using this, which could be a good thing too. It is kind of a pain in the butt, but at the same time, it's an ever-evolving system. They're constantly working on bettering the software and stuff like that. So the setup can be a little finicky and confusing at first. The camera motion itself, I noticed, is a little jittery. It's not the smoothest when it's tracking things. So that could use some work, whether it be maybe down the line, it's going to be, something that not necessarily is during the process of recording, but maybe some kind of process afterwards, like a post-processing thing where it kind of smooths things out potentially. But yeah, so it is a little jittery at times with recording the movement and its tracking features. It doesn't do a full 360 or follow you around. Not that it really should, because you're only doing half of a field anyways. So I guess it's not a huge deal. But with it being able to, be a 360 type of thing as well, it should follow that around if need be. And there is quite a little bit of a learning curve on it. There's a lot of features, a lot of options to choose when you're setting things up. So when you first get one of these, I would highly recommend definitely playing with it for a while. Don't just go out and expect to, use this thing your first time and do a state championship or something like that. There is quite a learning curve on this thing. But the pros, it's super convenient. You can free yourself up from having to, hold your camera and follow the game. You can set this up, let it do the heavy lifting for you, record the game while you sit back and watch and actually are able to enjoy the game or your kids playing or whatever it may be. The 20 gigs of cloud storage free, that's awesome. When you do download something, it stays in the app itself, and then you would have to manually choose to download that onto your device. So yeah, 20 free gigs of storage is great. Awesome for coaches. If you're out there and you want to record your practices or your games and then go back and review things afterwards, you don't have to rely on one of the parents hopefully recording this or somebody missing a play. You can record your players, you can do replays, you can show highlight reels, know what you have to work on, so on and so forth. So huge for coaches. Content creators, like we talked about earlier, if you're big enough to where you're actually paying for people to do your filming for you, this can definitely save you on some payroll, right? Set this thing up and let it follow you around and, save yourself a couple $100 a day or whatever you pay for your camera guy to come out and just follow you around with the camera. And then it's a constant evolving thing. They're always working on bettering the software, constantly doing updates. The more people use it, the better it's going to get. So I say the pros definitely outweigh the cons. If you got kids in sports and stuff like that, or you're a coach or a content creator, I would definitely look into getting one of these. These things are pretty awesome.